Hello guys, welcome to episode 4. So, welcome to episode 4 in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. And I've noticed that I've missed a few...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I missed a few Easter eggs in the play, during the endings. So before I do the new content, which will be happening today...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The first thing that I missed was...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What I missed was in here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why it just should really put my phone on mute. Anyway, so we've seen that, and now we've got this, and now there's actually another ending that I didn't even not realise. And I'm gonna play it, and then we'll do all the new content.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
So basically we have to go this way.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Right, so we do, but instead of following the story, there's an ending here, which I didn't even realise.
On an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
No, I don't have the strength to find out, because this is the other ending.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So, here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Well, that was certainly something. And I didn't even realise you could get that ending. So that's technically all the endings now in the Stanley Parable. So now we're going to do the new content.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, there's the window. So yeah, we always fin. So now here's the new content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Let's find out, shall we, narrator? Because we're not going to be... We're going to continue doing these in episodes.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Right, okay.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
So we're playing on a...
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Well, have I got a feeling that this is going to be anticlimactic?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
I feel like this is going to be absolutely terrible.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay, let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see, it's... the jump circle?
I'm just gonna break it. Why is this even a thing?
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
So apparently there was a jump.
Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If
I
this
don't
is new
know,
content,
maybe.
then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
It's just the jumping, I think. Yeah.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game?
and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I feel like there's more. Surely the Stanley Parable can't be just jumping. If it was just jumping, then that was just like the fact that it was just the jumping is the content. Hey up. Okay, this is actually different.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Hold on, give me a second.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
That's nice, isn't it? It's technically the same anyway, so I love the fact that I just got cold and dark. Oh no! Oh no, that's not. Oh.
When Stanley came to us,
I'm gonna have to begin again. It's all funny. I got cold and dark, and then it was just like, right, we're gonna try this again. We're gonna go to the new content again. I am so sorry. I just wanted to know what would happen. Right.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Coffee. Coffee nut. I got called a dog. That is pretty funny. Fine. I don't need to show anything cool to you, you dog. Oh, that is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Wow, the memories.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
What if I go back? I know I can't go back, but I mean go back here. Oh, you can't. So now we're trapped in the memory zone. I must admit, it is quite a lovely place. The memory zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Steam. What's wrong with PlayStation anyway? Stanley Parable. Ah, good times, where everyone kept bloody... Oh, the cheat room. Yeah, you can get the cheat room, but you have to access cheats. And sadly I couldn't have activated the cheats. I don't know if you have to do an add-on to, if you needed to do an add-on, to activate the cheats, but part of the cheats were, in the game's code. Guys. Oh, the Stanley Parable demonstration. That's funny because it's the same thing, but you just kept there was a button that said 8. Smile because it happened. A trip down memory lane. The almighty dollar bill. You know, like Swin. It's impossible to get this achievement. Go outside. Don't play the game for 5 years, bloody hell. I'm not doing that achievement because it takes too long. New video game released today. Like... Beta work in progress. You dead. Dead collapse on the sidewalk. Oh, you can't even sit down and have a look. So just pretty... Loving memory of little Stanley. There's a piano.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
An elevator content. Don't read any reviews except for this one. You don't. And recommend it? That's quite simple. You don't. If anyone wants to read this, that'll just stay here for a couple of seconds. And if anybody wants to pause in the playback and read it, you can do. But that's it now. Let's go down to the basement. Memories of maintenance. Simply just different choices as well, like you just... Oh, yeah, you used to be in Minecraft, in the thing, but when But I think that's still the Stanley Powerball. Don't know if you can play the old game actually. Person of the Year. Can't really see Stanley's face, but you can do in the middle at some point.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Yeah, I guess so, but the point is that sometimes you just have to have like different stuff in games. Because again, it would get a bit boring if it stayed the same. The serious room. That's the serious room. I love the fact that they called it the serious room. But that's when you can activate the cheats. But I don't know how you activated the cheats to get to the serious room. But the serious room was one of the things. Like, you just get annoyed. So, now, what? I wish you could just take a look at the serious room up close, instead of from a distance. I think, don't we just go...
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Ah, the hidden ones.
Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Maybe not. Not recommended.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I certainly could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
The memory zone is fucked. Imagine that like everyone was just like, the memory zone's fucked. Technically it is technically fucked now, because we're getting to the badder little versions to it now. Where it's unpopular, where they're hidden.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Maybe not. But hold on, let me read this. Whilst the idea for the game is good, it's because it becomes very repetitive and boring fast, despite all the alternative endings. The game's cameo appearance. This game is titled through thought-provoking, but you will get the idea. It tries to communicate pretty fast, and when it is just repeating the whole no choice in games thing over and over again for somebody who prefers non-linear games, this preach gets annoying fast, as it neither is relevant nor very interesting. It is thought-provoking only in the first minutes. I've probably butchered all that information. Maybe it's... I mean, I can see that people get mixed reviews over the... Oh no, this is gonna make it worse for the narrator.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh, you can't even jump in the sea. What the hell?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, reduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is.
I'm just...
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you... Oh, well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not
Boring!
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or something like that.
I totally forgot that there wasn't a door.
A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Stanley! Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie 9's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie 9. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The mirror...
Bored.
Stanley, look back. Look back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking, you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe
I'm not just a fiction. Was I?
I think you're boring.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you.
Oh,
To
no.
begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life.
Oh. He stopped talking. The clock's broken. That
They
would get...
didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time.
He's just gonna keep rambling on.
Then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is not...
And now he stopped. So he stopped first, and then he started rambling, and then he stopped again. What happens if I press it again?
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Okay, so now it's just saying what it says in the game. The end is never the end. What now? Holy shit, everything's going worse. Everything's getting worse. I think humanity is dead at this point. So we're trapped in this machine, this room. Ooh, time traveling. It's pretty lovely. So now it's night time. I can't even I can only see the button. Okay, this is becoming a bit more of a horror. I don't like that. That was a bit of a horror. We can escape. We're just gonna keep going. Music's actually quite nice, I must admit. So that was an interesting thing. Was that actually part of the... Is that the new ending for the content? If that was, then that was a really interesting. We're back in the office.
All of his co-workers were
Whoa.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The new content. Well, that's certainly interesting, wasn't it? Huh. Let's see what this new content... Hold on. Let's see what this new content is.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
What happens if I just... No, we'll continue with the new content, because we technically have done all what we need to do. Alright, show me what this new content is then. After all, we're only going up to an hour with each new thing. So we're back at the same elevator.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh. How's this gonna work?
You see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged...
The end is never the end
new
again.
experience, built from the ground up.
For
Why
two.
there's so many possibilities? It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Okay.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe.
2, 3...
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It's
I love the fact that it's still the line as well, the eventual line.
Long-term franchising potential.
Should really listen to the narrator. So how's the Stanley Parable 2 going to come into play? Like, I reckon it's going to be The Office, but then there's going to be more added on to it. Like, no, there's like more keen laptops than the more old-fashioned computers. Totally. They're back! The two doors! Fuck me. The Stanley Parable 2, Stanley Parable 2, Stanley Parable 2, Stanley Parable 2, Stanley Parable 2. Thanks for... What's that say? Thanks for attending my meeting. Stanley Parable 2. Stanley Parable 2. I wonder if they actually ever did make the Stanley... if they're ever going to make the Stanley Parable 2. The colour red. Like, this is only just the... Stanley Parable 2, two Stanleys. That's gotta be...
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting
maybe it
concepts,
is.
that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Who took the red marker? Me. 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 legs, 2 arms, 3 question marks. 9, 10, 11, 13. Scrum, design, pitch, break, pitch design, number 2, chart. Sequels are good. There's a website as well that you can go to. This way to the show floor. New features. I am the Stanley that's going to be the 2. Whoa.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay. The Stanley Parable 2.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well soon, what the fuck? Get well someday. That's something that you would say if it were a madman. Or happy 12th birthday. You know what, let's do that one.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is.
So what was the point of the choice then? Wow. You're just an asshole. Get well, son.
Maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
You were going to use my suggestion, weren't you, you son of a bitch? Whoa. Giant figures. Collectibles.
Ah, collectibles.
Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Why? Surely there's no point. Collect them all. Can you find them all? So I have
God,
to...
it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point in it. Makes the game more fun that way, you son of a... Oh, the free. Get yours right now. Pull the lever, notch, and receive your new shoe. No more steps. Get yours right now.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
What happens if I just keep clicking it? Alright, whatever. I feel like I should do... Keep clicking.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Oh, the jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Oh, come on. That's new. They just said that's new.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
You have no idea what's going on, do you? The baby's all grown up. It's just a man with a baby's face. That's actually pretty funny. What's this? Infinite hole. Don't want to do the exit because ooh, the bucket, but I'm not going to do the bucket just yet. So I think I'm going to do the infinite hole. So I'm going to do the infinite hole and then I'm going to call it there.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact,
A hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
I'm ready for this. Let's do it!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Yeah, no.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
I'm still going down the hole.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity.
It is.
From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Really? Because I feel like I want to go back in the hole again.
For heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
Ooh.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about. And I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
You might have had a problem with the hole. You might have had enough of the hole, but I certainly haven't.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. This starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
But it's not working.
Is the
teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Nice.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
Oh. So this is gonna be interesting now. The music, I love this. Doing it within the music. This is Stanley.
My head's stronger. Your
Puppies! Drawing.
Stanley!
Huh?
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
It doesn't happen again, but it's So that was the Infinite Hole thing. I think I might actually just do it again for episode 5 as well, because I love it so much. But until then, that has been...
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
This has been part of the new update, and still some more to discover about it. I wonder if I could find all them figurines. Oh, there's the merch thing. Also, and that's the website as well. I won't do the bucket thing just yet. Next episode will be the bucket. Okay. That's all the new content. Alright, so that has been the Stanley Powerball Ultra Deluxe episode 4. Episode 5 will come out tomorrow for more content. Until then, guys, see you later. No crew.